everybody, and welcome back to this journey called life. Again, I'm Tori,
I'm Charlie.
and today we have a reaction video, but we're also going to give some information and knowledge about a event. When we're traveling through this journey called life, things are going to happen, but I bet you've never seen this one before. All right, listen.
Now at 5:37, two men are in jail this morning, including an up-and-coming Florida rapper. Both men are charged in a double murder. Police are saying the two staged a crime scene to make it look like a drive-by shooting. CBS 4's Carly Barnett is live at the Broward County Jail in Fort Lauderdale with more. Carly.
Okay. Two rappers in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, have committed murder and staged the scene to make it look like a drive-by shooting. And we're going to talk about it today.
It's crazy. The world today is like so upside. Never can, never know what to expect.
I think it's not even that you never know what to expect. I think that the world has become so corrupt that people start figuring out how they're going to fix a lie after they start. Like, that's the thing that throws me off is, like, they had this shooting and then they thought, oh, this is a bright idea. Let's stage it as a drive-by. Like, nobody was gonna figure out that that's what they did, or that was. Then the crazy part about it is you go forward into the news information that was released. It says that the people that they shot were dropped off at the hospital. So you went through, and then it goes on to say that the people that they shot were also like their friends. So we're living in a time where it's like you kind of have to watch your friends, you gotta watch your back. You gotta watch your back everywhere because in this case, I think the ideal of them dropping them off at the hospital, maybe they thought they would have lived, or maybe they were hoping that they would have survived it or something. I don't know. They found out it was a disagreement that went horribly wrong real fast. But that's why I really like to discuss the topic of gun violence. At this point, when we were growing up, you could have a disagreement, you could get out in the street, you could brawl, you could fight about it, and, after you fought, you may even be cool with that person in a couple of weeks and be like, yo, bro, that was crazy. And, or you might be mad for a while and never be cool again. But, he did a whole series on his channel about people he fought with, and the people he was fighting with was liking the videos. You know what I'm saying? That's the generation we grew up in. Now, people don't fight like that. You know what I'm saying? It's the ideal of people having access to guns is ridiculous now, and then people are losing their lives over what were probably things that could have been avoided, right?
Yeah. See, like when you listen to the story, it just give you, you start to think about the movie Juice and Tupac, the Bishop character, and you start to see just how a person can be so dark in the inside. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, have a heart. Because they in a place of confusion. You know what I mean? Where they don't know exactly which way to go. And when a lot of people are trying to make it to the top, they do things that's not right, and they know it's not right, and their heart begin to bleed. That's why the records you heard were about his friend. He felt bad about what was going on, but he didn't want to go to jail for the crime that he committed. You know what I'm saying? So it was a twist and tale of somebody trying to, they may have felt that this individual was going a little bit further than them. That's why I always say when you have kids, you have to sit down and have conversation and make for sure they don't have a bishop in their circle, because you never know. The bishop character, if you paid attention to Juice, he come to the mom and talk, I'm sorry for this loss and all of that. But in all, he was the one that caused all these things to happen. But like I say, it's a lost kid, lost soul. They don't really have direction. So when you coaching your kids or whatever, or trying to motivate them in different ways, you got to also teach them how to identify characters, because you don't want to be in a circle with a guy like that or a person like that, and you don't want to raise kids to become the bishop character where they trying to do any and everything to become number one, and that means even killing somebody and staging a crime scene.
Wow. You
know what I'm saying? It's so dark, and then you making songs about the individual that you killed as if you didn't have nothing to do with it. It's a sickening and sad thing, and it's the reality that we face with each and every day. So we as parents, we got to focus in on making our kids great and putting that belief in them that you don't have to go out here and do things like that, because your talent and your gift is good enough to get you to that level you desire to be. Jealousy and envy will cause you to do these dark and evil things, and make you begin to do these things. And we as parents don't know a lot of time what our kids are thinking. That's why it's so good to try to teach them as they're young what to not do, you know what I'm saying? But the world out here is corrupt and it's feeding your kids each and every day. That's why God is needed. If you walking around without God in your life or not putting that into their system, you don't understand that they need that shield. You feel me?
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I was just thinking, I'm going to cut them off, but I was just thinking about when you talk about kids and having them become aware of who's in their surroundings. You know what? Sometimes when you're even aware of who's in your surroundings, people will begin to hate you just because you're doing well. And it's that crab in the basket mentality. You know, they begin to hate on you because of your success. And it doesn't mean that, you know, it's an underlying issue that's going on within them. And you may think that they're all for you. You may think that this is your ride, this is your partner, you know, ride or die, ride until you die. And that's something that you may not even be ever prepared for. I know it's like the most devastating feeling to find out like the person who has been sabotaging you is the person you were the closest to, you know. And I think about what I was going to bring out, you know, dealing with the kids is I think they have to also consider the aftermath. You know, sometimes things happen in the moment, in the heat of the moment, in the heat of the argument. You know, a person playing too much, they say that next joke, and you shot them, you killed them, and then 10 seconds later, you like, what did I just do? Because it's the aftermath that caused him to drive this person to the hospital. It's the aftermath that said, we got to clean this up, make it a drive-by, because it wasn't his intent. But having that access to that gun and having it right on you means in the middle of that argument, your reaction was, oh, for real, end. And then after that, it's too late. We were just talking about some young girls. We watched a video, I saw in the news, about these two girls who got into an argument at a basketball game. And the one girl, security escorted her outside first, and they were still arguing about it or whatever they were disagreeing about. So the other girl that she was arguing about came out the building a few minutes later, and when she got out the building, you know, the girl who they escorted out first shot her in the chest. And she died there, and her grandfather was on the video, and he was saying, like, he just dropped her off at the basketball game. He was supposed to pick her up when she finished, and now he'll never, be able to talk to her again. She died on the scene, I believe. That's crazy, but it's the access to the gun that the one girl had, number one. It's the underlying issues that people don't know how to talk about issues, or even if you disagree, it doesn't have to be the end of somebody's life. And then it's the further issue of, now this one girl that shot this girl probably did it out of anger. 10 seconds later, she probably will think about that. Might have been, I don't know the story, but it might have just been a boy they were arguing over. And the dude ain't even,
It's a painful reality, man.
Yeah.
Painful reality. Whew.
And once you've done that, it's too late. I know I've been on a rant because I cut him off, but it's so many things that come to mind. One of my closest friends, she killed her wife just because she didn't want to stay in a relationship with her. And basically, she went up to her job. She had been threatening her for a while. And me, I was in an abusive relationship where you hear the threats, but you always thinking, man, you ain't going to do none of that. You ain't going to do none of that. You just talking. But this particular day, she wasn't talking. Like, she went into her job and bought the ammunition, waited for her to come out of the Walmart, and shot and killed her. And even though, it's one of those feelings like, oh, if I can't be with you, nobody else can. But it could it have been prevented?
Yeah, see, like stuff like that, man. Like I always say, jealousy, envy, and then playing with people's hearts and things of that nature is all can come back to. It can go to a dark place, because the thing my brother always taught me, man. He said, you might not go to that next limit, but you don't know what's in somebody else's soul. Mm-hmm. They'll go to that next limit. You feel what I'm saying? You might be joking and playing around, and you know what I'm saying? Like, you see this whole story about this kid, this rappers, and they all up and coming rappers. What was the stigma that made them do that?
Mm-hmm. And then history repeats itself. You know what I'm saying? Almost make me feel like I'm reading a story about Biggie and Tupac. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, have y'all not seen in this industry, like, this person's gonna end up trying to kill this person, this place is gonna get shot up with you in it? Like, I'm like, wow, is this happening again in 2019? This is ridiculous, because even though they may not be artists on that scale, because but I still feel like as artists, they have already seen this happen. If they've looked at the history of the industry and how, I've heard from what I've watched in interviews that it's kind of like a dog-eat-dog world. You got to get yourself above the next rapper and have a content that people are going to, it's just like any other business, and make yourself marketable. And that jealousy or that envy or whatever you feeling in your heart towards that person, that may cause you to be just overly frustrated in the moment, or somebody stealing a deal from you. You know, you were gonna go sign with this person, and they get there and call it a joke, like, "Oh, you was coming? We good, we got that." And it's like, what? You know, we don't know the details, but we are looking at it at the perspective of when will it change.
Yeah, we live in a world now that your enemy is now your best friend. The person that you sitting there next close to, and you like, man, yo, I just got this deal. I'm about to go do this. And he just like, yeah?
Word.
Where you going? Where y'all picking that check up from?
Oh, you know.
You see what I'm saying? It's like that mentality of like, yeah, I mean, that you calling him your homie. You calling him your friend. But he's scheming on how I'm going to get you next.
No, that too, but what I was thinking of is, you know how they say you got to watch the people that are never happy with your success? Like, they act like they happy, but they secretly got this thing going on. Like when you're saying, when you tell them like, man, we just signed this deal. And they're like, oh, for real? Word? You know, it's like, you supposed to be happy for me. Why you acting like, you know, you feel a certain way? Nah, we good. You know what I'm saying? That's what's up, yo. And, you know, enjoy your day. And you got, what? You know what I'm saying? You gotta watch people like that, because it begin to show their character. Like, they can't celebrate you because they're too busy worried about it should have been them.
And that was I think that's one of the things about my character, man, that people always loved about me. I'm not afraid to congratulate somebody. I'm not afraid to let people know that with their journey that they took and them accomplishing their goals is something to be celebrated. I mean, now, it could be points in your life that you feel like, man, that should be me. But you don't stop congratulating your brother if you consider that your brother or your sister. You know what I'm saying? Y'all have a conversation and say, man, how do I get to that level? With this hate, like, why we can't love? You know what I'm saying? And then people try to use that as an escape route, you know what I mean? Just down somebody with that crab in the bucket mentality. You got to come away from that, man. You got to change.
Crazy, because I want to be great so bad. As you can see, Charlotte and I, we work hard and we want to make it, but if it means I got to step on your neck to get there, I'm not willing to dance with the devil like that. I feel like that karma is going to come back on me, and I feel like, you know, I'm trying to sow into the kingdom and sow into people, you know, positivity. And there has been times in my life where I literally cried because I'm like, I'm always giving, and it seemed like when I was in need, have you read the meme where it's like, you got to stop scratching people's back because when your back itch, you had to use the wall, pretty much, you know? It's like.
And this is why I come back to tell you once again, like the story she just was saying, I've been through that. This is why I say my faith in God is very strong, because I've been through a situation when I was on the street homeless, man. And I looked around, and at the time I didn't have nobody that was supporting me or helping me at that time. And I remember being frustrated because I didn't have nowhere to go. And I remember I got my little check from my little temp service job. And I remember that day I'm going to get something to eat, and I'm going towards the Dollar Tree to get something to drink. And I remember being so mad at everybody, family, everybody, friends, all of that. And I'm walking, and I see a $20 bill float past. I see it, I pick it up, and I look down on the ground, and there's a bunch of hundreds and 20s. See what I'm saying? Like, you never know when God gonna bless you,
Your day
man.
gonna come.
Never know. That's why you gotta always have your faith, man. It's a deeper thing, man. We gotta change, man. We don't gotta always do evil. You know what I mean? I think that's gonna be the righteous way out. But sometimes, man, I gave a lot to a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? So I expected them to do the same, but a lot of times in life, you're not going to get the return what you gave out. So just give your faith to God, because God got a plan and He got a way for you. All that money that was on the ground was for my merchant seaman thing, but I wasn't thinking at that time. I wanted to go buy shoes and clothes and stuff with that. You see what I'm saying? Or going to a hotel room. You feel me? So it's all the plan. Sometimes you gotta wise up and be thinking. And killing somebody and doing stuff like that, that's not the answer, man.
We hope that we'll be able to prevent these issues and stop the level of gun violence, and if nothing else, bring awareness to the fact that there is another route. You know, it doesn't have to end like that. What we see in this particular incident with the rap artist is that these two guys are going to be charged with murder. They're probably going to do life, if not least, for this murder, and then you got all the extra charges they're going to get now for staging the scene to make it like a drive-by, all of those extra things, because now that's going to change when they begin to deal with law. You know, now it's going to go to probably premeditated, because they went to the level of dropping these people off at the hospital, then the level of changing the scene to try to make it look like a drive-by. All of that's going to play into when the lawyers stand there and begin to make a case against them. They can't. They're, you're innocent until proven guilty, but they kind of created the case for the attorneys because of all of what they did, and that's it may not be the end of their lives, but what more could they have done with their lives if they would have just chose differently? That's 4 people now who will never be the same. 4 families, 4 mothers, that are going to be crying about the loss of their children, and that's why we try to teach our kids early, not to go that route.
Yeah, so you see that it's really if your mind not right, all 4 of them died.
Mm-hmm.
The regular ones in the physical and the other ones in the mental. When you locked in them cells away from your family and stuff, it's the worst feeling ever. You know what I'm saying? So I encourage all kids and everybody that's listening to us to understand the seriousness of dealt with those situations like that. And understand, man, we got to be closer to our kids and try to motivate the youth around us. You know what I'm saying? Because we got an obligation as adults and as grown people to touch people and let them know that God is here and we can definitely help them, just by building their faith. But we appreciate y'all tuning in to us, man. This is a deep conversation, man. And I always love spending time with all of y'all. I love all of y'all out there, man. This is a great topic, man, because it needed to be discussed. And I thank y'all for tuning in. Hit that share, hit that like button for us, man. And support our channels. You got anything you want to say?
Do everything you want to say. Don't forget to comment. And as we always say on our channel, don't forget to love God, love life, and enjoy the journey. Remember, where there's life, there is hope. So for the 2 that may have made that bad decision, if they choose to do better with their lives, we hope that God can be able to get glorified and it can teach the generation what happens when you make a decision like that.
Love y'all.